Welcome to the Great Start Podcast, a podcast that brings you up to speed with matters Formula One. So sit in your cockpits, rev your engines, and let's go.
Yes. Welcome to the episode, guys. My name is Kibet, aka your local Formula One guy. And today we have a banger of an episode for you guys. First of all, quite an achievement we have here. We have reached 10 episodes, guys. 10 episodes. I mean, this all started as a dream somewhere last year, and we are now at 10 episodes, growing strong, growing together. Our community definitely is growing larger as the Formula One season comes to be. And I'd like to thank you, all my listeners, all of you, each and every single one of you who tunes into this podcast at any one time, guys. Thank you so much. You share them with your friends, share them with your family. Let's bring them into this amazing world of Formula One, guys, because we are just about to have a heck of a season for us here at in the Formula One world, rather. But basically, thank you so much, guys, for, making this dream come true. And for you guys also as part of the family, I'd like to thank you because you guys listening, you guys sharing, it means a lot. It grows the community, it grows the family. And as we get better, definitely we will grow to bigger zones. It has just started raining where I'm at, so hopefully the microphone will not be able to pick it up. But regardless, we will continue with the episode for today, titled "The Season Begins: Ever-Changing Formula One Regulations and how teams are manipulating the rules." The new rules, rather. So I think we can dive straight in. Remember, as always, share this link with your family, share this link with your friends. Also, follow us on our socials at The Great Start Podcast on Instagram, on Twitter at The Great Start Pod. Feel free also as well to visit our link tree. The link will be attached below. Feel free to visit our link tree and click on the Tiny Pesa link. If you feel like this podcast is good enough to deserve a promotion of whatever kind, of whatever amount, feel free to go to our Tiny Pesa link. It's on our link tree, and donate as little or as much as you want. That would be lovely. Anyway, back to the episode for today. The first thing we're going to talk about today is how the season is just about to begin. We are just about to have the ball rolling. We are just about to have things go, all systems check. A lot of the teams are actually in Barcelona as we speak for the testing. That will start this weekend on the 23rd to the 25th of February. And I'm excited. I don't know about you guys, but I am mad excited for this season. We have quite a season ahead of us, with all the rule changes, with all the engine. A lot of people will be having new engines, new power units. Really, we have also, I think, one new driver. We don't have any other new driver as well. But we have a lot of team shifts, with Valtteri moving from Mercedes to Alfa Romeo. We have Guanyu Zhao, coming from Formula 2 into Formula 1 with Alfa Romeo. And most of the other teams have actually just retained the same drivers. If you have to think about it, Mercedes are still having and our star guy George Russell moving from Williams to Mercedes. And low-key, by the way, guys, you may not know this, or rather, this is a secret I'll share with you podcast fans who listen to me. I am a diehard. Don't get me wrong. I am a diehard Red Bull fan, Red Bull racing fan. But I mean, we have George Russell in the Mercedes this time. And after what he did in Bahrain in 2020, I'm so tempted to shift to shift teams, to shift sides, and now support George Russell specifically, George Russell specifically, and support him in the Mercedes. And yeah, man, there's a lot of incentive to move that side, but still, we are going to hold on strong because we have the Mexican Minister of Defense on our side, mans like Sergio Perez, Checo, as they call him, and we have him on our side, so definitely we know that we are going to have a good season. Kwanzaa, this time he has come out saying that he is not, the first season he came in, he was coming in learning how the Red Bull car works, basically, and how all those matters will be. But now he is coming in with the mindset that he is in to challenge Max Verstappen for the World Championship. So we just might see quite a couple of people challenging for the championship this year. We will have the goods who has finally come back and risen and become much more vocal on social media and all. Lewis Hamilton back. We have George Russell, though I don't think George Russell will be fighting for a championship this year, but we have, I'd like to put him on the list because I feel he is capable enough. If he was able to do that in the first race, in the first time, in a car that was shorter than his height, man, this time we may see quite a hell of a season. Yeah, but as I was saying, we have Lewis Hamilton, we have Max Verstappen, we have Sergio Perez, we have the two Ferraris that are all fighting for the championship this season. And I think we should be able to confirm that during this first testing that goes on this weekend, So, man, we have a lot of things packed up, lined up for us. And kama kawaida, as always, the Great Start Podcast will be with you each and every single step of the way through the 23 races that we have this year. This year, man, 23 races. Imagine, quite a number of races those are. But regardless, we will hack, and as always, the Great Start Podcast will walk you through all those races. So, as I was saying, the season is beginning. We have testing in Barcelona, in Catalunya, to be precise, happening from the 23rd to the 25th of February. Actually, yesterday, we completed all the car launches, with Alpine being the last car to... No, it's not the last car. I don't think Alfa Romeo have released their car yet. But regardless of the situation, it's one of the final car launches that happened yesterday with the Alpine launch. And I think the car looks awesome. I think the blue and pink, it's not a common color combination we get to see a lot, but the blue and pink have gone really, really well together. And it's kind of really matched. I didn't think it was matching, and but it would match rather when I saw the news that Alpine would be partnering with BWT. But I think BWT have done a very good job, with their color scheme, and not BWT rather, Alpine have done a very good job with the color scheme, a very good job with the painting on the car, the design of the car. I mean, it just looks awesome. For those who may not know also as well, probably you are used to seeing the BWT sponsorship on the Aston Martin or the former Racing Point, or even the former Sportspesa racing team. Y'all were very used to seeing the pink on it, but now we have the pink on the Alpine, which is a former Renault. So we have a sponsorship change in Alpine, where we're having BWT now sponsor Alpine. And with that came Otmar Svosna being the team principal for Alpine this season. And he is part of what came with the sponsorship from BWT. So we hope for the best. He was a team principal at Aston Martin before he left towards the end of last year. And actually early this year is when he left. So basically those are the perks of seeing him move to Alpine. So I've jumped so much from this topic, but now I dive straight into it. Barcelona, 23rd to the 25th. The first outing, it's kind of a low-key pre-testing track. It's not official. It's like, okay, it's the first time the drivers are testing out these cars formally on the track, and we will not have such a live race-style kind of coverage or live timing or tires or what. We'll not have all that in this first test. Basically, all that we'll be having is at each and every single end of the day, we will be having the best lap times and the positions of the drivers communicated to us. So who is doing best, who is doing what. But these tests more especially are not meant for us, the Formula One fans. These tests are meant for the teams, to gather data on these cars, more especially for this season. These tests are very, very important because, these are new. This is a new generation. This is a new era in the Formula One world. We have never had such a year with so many regulation changes as much as this. So basically, these changes are meant for the teams to gather data on the cars to see how they can improve them. So usishtuke if you see a car with something like a whole big aerial on top of it. Usually those are just for gathering data, wind data, aerodynamic data, engine data, a lot of data, tires, you name it, all the tests. So you will see a lot of those in Barcelona and Bahrain. And I am really looking forward to the drivers' reactions. Their first instances driving these cars. For some teams, I've already started driving them. We saw McLaren drive their McLaren 35M. I think it was yesterday, if not last week. Yesterday being Monday. But we have seen McLaren test out their cars. We have seen Haas test out their cars already in Catalunya. We have seen, there's another team we've seen also as well. Ferrari with the F175. We've seen the Mercedes at Silverstone, and the Aston Martin as well. So, basically a lot of drivers. I'd like to hear like the official reaction of driving these cars at pace with other guys. Are we going to have closer racing as they were prospecting? Are we going to have these changes that they were prospecting now that we have the changes to the car? I don't know. But catch the Barcelona testing from the 23rd to the 25th of February on wherever you get your Formula One or watch your Formula One links. The next testing, we have two sets of testing. So the first one is Barcelona this weekend. The second is Bahrain from the 10th to the 12th of February. And this is the official pre-season test. So it is the official Formula One pre-season test. The 23rd, it's kind of like, fast feel the driver's data and all. But Bahrain is the official one. It will be happening from the 10th to the 12th. Then we have, I think, a 2-week break or a 1-week break. Then the season starts in Bahrain. So this one in Bahrain, fans will be in attendance. So if you feel like, you want us to go together for this Bahrain Formula One Grand Prix, you know where to hit me up. Hit me on my socials at _Kibet_Keter on Instagram. Same handle on Twitter as well. You could also message me down on our website in our feedback session. Hey, tell me, hey, Brian, man, I want us to go for the Bahrain testing. Hey, don't get, let's go. Let's do this, And for this, there'll be live TV coverage and timings and all those things. So it'll be like we're officially back to Formula One. Yes, in Bahrain. Amazing. I'm really looking forward to this. I don't know about you, but I'm very excited about these testings that are going to happen. And yesterday, a friend of mine, who you will come to find in the podcast one of these fine days, sent me an audio featuring the Formula One, the Formula One theme song. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, man, I just got shivers listening to it. I was just like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's been such a long time without, Formula One. And I used to use it to distress a lot, but now we haven't had it. So, I mean, what a weekend we will have this March when Formula One starts again. Yes. I thought I'd muted my phone, but that has clearly, I did not do that. Anyway, to the second part of the podcast, guys, we are talking about how the teams are manipulating the new aerodynamics, the new rules. Basically, we have a lot of changes, and I feel it like it's best if we also go to talk about these changes, because they are important for us to know. So there are teams that are having new power units for the season. There are some that are having completely new aerodynamic packages. Those are some of the changes that we are really seeing a lot in the teams as they interpret the rules. And for those who may not know, basically, when I talk about how the teams are interpreting the rules, what this means is we have a book, we have a set of rules, PDF, let's call them. We have a set of rules that are standard, But then how these teams implement and interpret these rules, interpret and implement these rules is different all through the teams, because you will find that probably how one team implements one thing is so different to the other. For example, if you look at Ferrari's air intakes in the F175 and you compare them to the Haas's, or not even compared to the Haas, because Haas is a junior team from Ferrari, so we'll find a lot of similarities in both cars. But if you compare like the power unit, the air intake, the Ferrari F175 air intake, together with the Alpine air intake, those are two different designs, two very different looks to it, and two different fundamental principles working in them. Because how air is channeled into this air intakes also depends on the wings. So you'll find the wings are different. They're all still within the same rules, but there are a lot of differences within the cars. And how these teams interpret them will be very interesting. We'll get to see a lot about them in the testing that will be happening both in Barcelona and Bahrain. So let's wait and see. But some of the teams that are having new power units, we have Alpine with a new power unit, we have Ferrari with a new power unit, we have Mercedes with a new power unit, we have Red Bull with a new power unit, I think. We have Haas with a new power unit. So those are the 5 teams I know we have with a clean new engine from scratch. Yes. For the aerodynamics, kuna those teams zenye, they didn't want to show us how these cars would look like. For example, Haas, during their launch, released a render. They did not release the actual car, but they released a render of the car. And yesterday we got to see how the actual car looks like, and it is so different. So Haas are definitely running a new aerodynamic package on their Haas car. Ferrari running a new aerodynamic package. If we are to look at aerodynamics from the basis of the new rule changes, and all the teams are running a new aerodynamic package. But some teams are basing their new changes on previous implementations of what they had done in earlier cars. So I know there are some teams that are running, most teams are running new aerodynamic packages, and we'll get to see more of this in action in the 2 seasons, the 2 testings that are coming up. Then the third thing that we are looking at is the changes, the ever-changing changes that are happening in the rule book. Yesterday we had, rather sometime towards the end of last week, I think it was Friday, we had Formula One changing the rules. It's been a really unchanged rule, if so I may call it, for such a long time that has needed change. But finally, Formula One drivers who have qualified in the top 10. So what that means is if on Saturday, during the qualifying session, you have qualified in the top 10, you will no longer have to start the race on the tires that you used in the second part of qualifying. So what does that mean? In the previous races, what used to happen is the tires that you finished with your qualifying session, the Q3, those tires are the ones you started with the next day during the race day. Yeah. But then this rule change has been rumored for so many months, and it's finally now confirmed that it is removed, and that now what that will mean is that the drivers will now be having a free choice of tires, a free choice of sets to run on the actual race day that is different from the ones they used in qualifying. And I'd just like to read you this rule on how it's stated in the rule book, and it's in Article 30.5L of the new regulation, which states that at the start of the Grand Prix, each car which qualified for Q3 must be fitted with tires with which the driver set his fastest time in Q2. So that's how the rule was. If you're if, for example, you qualified like in Q3 you qualified at P5. In the race day, the tires you used in Q2 are the ones you start with. Yeah. But now this rule has been struck off and will no longer apply for the season. So whichever tires you decide to start with on Sunday, basically that is what it is. But why is it that this rule has been brought about? Why is it that this rule has been brought about? So the intent of this Q2 tire rule change is to attempt, to encourage some variance in strategy, some strategic variance, by offering the teams the chance to get through to Q3 on a harder tire compound while having to fend off quick times from those choosing to run softer compound. Yeah. So what does that mean? This means that Q3, because it's a bit longer, okay, not really a bit longer, but the drivers tend to, go a little bit harder in Q3 as they're trying to get the first 10 slots. Q3 is where they get, okay, let me explain this Q1, Q2, Q3. So we have 3 qualifying sessions in Formula One. We have Q1 where they get the bottom 5, Q2 where they get the middle 5, and Q3 where they get the top 10. So we have 20 drivers. Yeah. So they get the bottom 5, the middle 5, and that. So they'll get like 15 to 20 in Q1. So however you guys rank within Q1, that is your position. Q2, we have position 10 to 15 got. However you guys rank, however the drivers rank between position 10 and 15, that is how you will be ranked. Then we have position 1 to 10, that is in Q3. So for those who decide to run harder tire compounds in Q3 and run a softer compound in Q2, in the previous season, what would happen is that on actual race day, you'd have to run that softer compound in Q2, which really didn't give a lot of strategy, because a lot of teams are now able to predict how their tires would be and how another team's tires would be, basically. So now we don't have that. Now we have the drivers choosing, 3 sets of tires, which is amazing, which is awesome. We'd love to see that and how it comes to be in this 2022 season. And yeah, let's see how it goes. Let's see how it is. But yeah, with that, I think I'm done talking about whatever we needed to talk about in this podcast. As usual, thank you so much, guys, for listening in. Thank you so much for joining me today in this amazing update of what is happening. I hope all of you will be tuning into the Barcelona results now that it will be featured directly outrightly. So we will get to discuss them. So put a subscribe button on wherever you're listening to this podcast. Put the ring bell icon click the ring bell icon so that you know whenever I post an episode, you get notified of it. And yeah, basically, thank you so much for listening to me today. As usual, follow my Instagram at _Kibet_Keter. Also follow the podcast Instagram at the Great Start Podcast. Follow our page on Twitter at the Great Start Pod. Join our Discord community, and all these links are attached on our link tree. And if you have any feedback, if you have any questions, if you have anything you'd want to talk about, or even just say hi, you can check out our website. The link is attached to the link tree link on this description. Check out our website. Down there, we have a feedback session. Give me feedback. Tell me, what do you think about the podcast? What is it that you want me to improve? What is it that you want me to talk about? And definitely, I'll check it through. Also, if you feel like supporting us through Tiny Pesa, the link is also attached to the link tree link. I mean, feel free, click the link, support us with anything you feel like, any amount you feel like you want to bless us with. Hey, bless us on this amazing Tuesday. And yeah, thank you so much. My name is Kibet, aka your local Formula One guy. And see you guys in the next one.